Next one. There we go. Thanks, Monica. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. Way warmer than Toronto. So, as Monica said, I've been working on something for almost 2 years now, and what better way to launch it than at probably the biggest market research conference in North America. And I'm going to start off with one of my favorite quotes by George Bernard Shaw, who's an incredible Irish playwright. And he said, the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Now, the key word here is unreasonable, because what I wanted to do 2 years ago, everybody looked at me and said, are you crazy? That's unreasonable. You'll never be able to make that happen. And we actually did. And it's really, really exciting to be here today to launch it. So let me take you on a little bit of a story in terms of how this came to fruition. So I had a mission. And my mission in life is to make intelligence accessible to the world. So 9 years ago, I started a global market research company called Fresh Intelligence. It's a full-service market research agency, and we do great quantitative work. And then I decided, well, that wasn't enough. So then I started to build schools in Nepal so that I could actually provide education to developing countries, all part of my overall mission. And then we started to get a lot of questions from a lot of our clients, a lot of startups, even big Fortune 500 companies, and we're saying, we want access to intelligence too, but I don't have the big bucks to be able to afford it. Like, I've only got $2,000. Well, if you want critical thinking for $2,000, it's not that easy to find. So what I needed to do was take this mission, this really true mission of making intelligence accessible to the world, because everybody should have access to the same type of intelligence to be able to compete in today's world, and putting it together with my vision. The number one cause of product failure, no market research. The number one cause of incremental advertising production spend, lack of market research. And the number one reason for lack of market research, costs. Key, right? Very, very close second was critical thinking. I don't know how to design a questionnaire. Okay. So, this is a true story, seriously. I'm in the shower one night 2 years ago, and it's all fogged up, right? And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like pacing up and down in the shower, and I'm thinking to myself, what if we could make this work, okay? And this seriously is a true story. So I'm writing down on the shower wall there, critical thinking, okay, research design, robust methodology, everything that full-service market research companies pretty much do, accuracy, unbiased, perfect, 100% accurate. Global respondent base, making intelligence accessible to the world. But what if we did something even better, and we made the entire process automated, that nobody even has to speak to anybody to get this done? And then there was one big C I actually drew at the end, and that was cost effective. Quite a tall vision to make happen, because I wanted to make sure that everyone had access to data-driven business decisions today. So I am really proud to introduce and launch today, for the first time at the TMRE, Validateit. And this is how it all began. 2011, I had a dream. 6 months later, I wrote it down. I'm a huge believer in what you visualize will materialize. So I wrote it down, and I actually used to stare at it every day for 2 days. In 2012, I placed my first call to Google Consumer Surveys. And I loved Monica's introduction when she actually showed the reaction to GCS when they first came out, right? It was all about this. And it truly was. Everyone was like, oh, Google Consumer Surveys. Why? Because they're scared of the big boy, right? The Google name. And I thought, no, we need to embrace this. This is the future of market research. This is where it's going. 6 months later, we had a wireframe sketch. In 2013, we started idea testing. 6 months later, we had a fully baked concept. 2013, we designed and tested models. And 6 months later, we started technology development. Keep calm and be unreasonable, I kept saying to myself. Just keep being unreasonable. It was scary. Technology. And today, we're here to launch Validateit. So, how does it work? There's nothing better than actually showing you a Roger, who can actually explain to you how it works.
environment is truly a battleground. Demanding customers and fierce competition force you to make validated business decisions quickly. What does it take to make informed decisions? Robust research. You could do it all yourself. Write your own questionnaires, program surveys, find your own respondents, and analyze the data. But how do you know if your results are valid and accurate? And do you really have the time and expertise for all of that? There is a science to developing relevant questionnaires. So why not leave the critical thinking to the research professionals and get it done right? Just use Validateit. Validateit's easy-to-use online platform provides scientifically designed questionnaires and fully automated research solutions that yield intelligent, valid results through Google consumer surveys. Just select your business question, answer a few related questions, provide your billing information, and get back to business. While you're doing what you're best at, an in-depth analysis of accurate, validated results and a full report with actionable insights is being generated and sent right to your inbox. Now that's a decision worth making. Test before you invest. Validate it.
So for me, the key really was to develop a platform that was exceptionally easy to use. It'll take you 60 seconds to submit a survey. 60 seconds. First thing you need to do is select your business question. Now, why do we talk about a business question? Because in research, it's really about solving problems or quantifying a hypothesis. It's about a business question. If you are not doing research to solve a business question, it is research for research's sake. It has to have a strong ROI. It has to empower you forward. So you select your business question. I need to understand how to price my product, etc. Once you've actually selected your business question, you provide your information. The maximum amount of information we ask for is 5 key entries, which could be anything from product category to a potential price of your product, etc. We'll show you a few examples. Pretty simply, you press submit, and it goes out into the internet, using the biggest global database on the internet today through Google Consumer Surveys. And then within 5 business days, pointing at the wrong one, you get your answer. Simple as that. So we are launching today with a product development series. If you remember at the beginning of my slides, I actually showed you that the #1 cause of product failures was a lack of research. The #1 question we get in the market research industry on innovation is about product launches. There are over 800 startups every single year that actually rise, and how many of those actually make it? They should all have a chance to make it. They should all have access to the same type of intelligence the Fortune 500 companies actually have. Our product development series will consist of 4 models: idea rank, demand check, price check, and name check. You could either use them individually, or you could use them as a full series. And in order to understand what each one actually delivers, we needed to make it very simple as well. So you click on each one, and you'll have a 40-second video that will explain what you get. And you can actually see the charts and get the information through storytelling in terms of what it actually delivers. I'll show you the first example of idea rank.
There are only 2 ways to increase your revenue: sell more or increase your price. Price check will validate your pricing strategy. Validate what consumers expect to pay. Know how they perceive your price. Price check will tell you if you are maximizing your sales potential with your price. What if you had a chance to increase your price? Would this increase the amount of buyers? You need to know what the market will bear. Test before you invest. Validate your price now.
So 40 seconds, you understand what you get, and you can actually go further and actually look at each chart. Now, here was the key thing. What do we deliver back? Okay? Do we give you back a 100-page analytical deck that for most marketers, startups, sole proprietors, or business people who we are doing research for have to run upstairs to the insights and innovation team and get them to analyze? No. You want your answer. You want the critical insight. You want the penetrating truth. So you get back a 1-page report with actual insights, not just data. All the algorithms have been developed in the background by probably one of the most brilliant researchers and analysts today, who's actually here, Olga Chikina, PhD candidate, brilliant analyst. So these are questionnaires and analytics and methodologies in the background that have been developed by market researchers with over 10 years experience in the market research industry. That's what you get. You print it out, you put in your business presentations, or you take it to whatever presentation you may have, and it will absolutely 100% guarantee, empower, and answer your question, without a doubt. So is this a DIY platform? Well, here's what you look at. If you drew a line like this, and you look at on this side we have DIY, and on the other side we have third-party market research agencies. Nobody was playing in the middle, and this is where Validateit comes in. We provide a DIY platform, but we provide the critical thinking at the same time as that. And this is an SMO study that was done, and if we asked what is the reasons for using DIY research tools, cost, cost, cost. Problem is, do we all know how to write questionnaires? No. Another one, ease of use. Make it simple, make it easy. I don't have time. We also actually have very, very busy days. Make it convenience. And of course, speed was key as well. There we go. Speed was key as well, and convenience. So it truly was a match made in heaven. Not only working with Google Consumer Survey folks and Googlers, what do we call yourself? Googlers. Googlers, them just the most incredible people to work with. But besides that, when you look at costs, so it's like almost 90% less than your traditional research cost. Okay. From a speed perspective, 60 seconds to submit. 5 business days, you get your full report. Accuracy developed by market researchers, and I got to get this quote right. If Google consumer surveys were good enough to be predicted the #1 online poll in predicting the US presidential elections, well, you cannot get better accuracy than that. It truly was a match made in heaven. So, lastly, and to summarize, like a fish out of water, if you want something in your life you've never had, you'll have to do something you've never done before. And we were unreasonable at Fresh Intelligence. We really decided to push the boundaries and do something that we can make intelligence absolutely accessible to the world through Validateit. What's next? We've made intelligence accessible to the world. By the end of the year, we'll be able to click a button and have it translated into the 40 countries that GCS will be in. I think it will be 40. Really and truly opening up the world to that. We'll be developing more proprietary models. We'll be developing proprietary models even for clients that we can actually host on there. So the scope is enormous. Validateit. Thank you.